بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رواه لنا أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: يا بني إن قدرت أن تصبح وتمسي وليس في قلبك غش لأحد فافعل. ثم قال: يا بني وذلك من سنتي ومن أحيا سنتي فقد أحبني ومن أحبني كان معي في الجنة. Before I continue my explanation regarding the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, which I was speaking last week about his family tree, I like to share this beautiful hadith. Also at the same time we will learn and try our best to have some sunnah in our life. This is the beautiful sunnah the Prophet ﷺ shared with Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu. And the one who was the servant of the Prophet ﷺ, and the one who was the Khadima Rasulullah 10 years. He said one time, the Prophet ﷺ told me, "Oh my son, if you have ability, when you do morning or evening, both, like when you get up in the morning or when you go in the evening, if you have ability, while you are in morning or evening, your heart should be clean from the ghish for your Muslim brother. Like your heart should be clean from deception and from the hatred for your other Muslim brother. If you have ability to do in the morning and evening. If anyone have intention to deceive other Muslim brother or do such an action, maybe he will lose something. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, "It is not my sunnah." Then he specifically advised Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, "Fafa'al, do it." And then after he said, ثُمَّ قَالَ لِي يَا بُنَيَّ, and then the Prophet ﷺ told me, "My son, it is my sunnah. Keep your heart clean and safe from the deception for other Muslim brothers." And one time the Prophet ﷺ came to market and people was selling kind of the product, and the bottom one is wet and the top one is dry. It's a kind of grain. And there is a rain the last night, and how's possible they are selling something is dry? Because they don't have that much like kind of warehouses they can protect their something which they are selling in the market. And the Prophet ﷺ was passing by and he put his hand in the bottom one and he found the wet, but the top one is dry. And then after he said, "Man ghasha falaysa minna," the one who deceives us, he is not from my follower. It's a very important hadith. The Prophet ﷺ shared with Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, and then after he said, وَمَنْ أَحْيَا سُنَّتِي فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي, the one who revived my sunnah, definitely he loved me. And the one who loved me, he will be with me in Jannah. Like which I was speaking on Friday. And anytime the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he used to advise his companions or whenever he used to tell his companions about his love, he never just discussed with them the love something is like a lip service. You just said 100 times, "I love Prophet ﷺ." Always he used to give them some practical action. Because when you do something practical, then definitely it will show you have deep love towards the Muhammad ﷺ. So what did that practical action he shared with Anas bin Malik? Keep your heart clean for deception for other Muslim brothers. Like you say something and because deception is not only physically, it can be in your work. Someone he come and he want your advice, and this advice is wrong for him, but still you are giving him. So you are word something, and your intention is something else. These are the things the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith. Now I will go back, which I was speaking about the family tree of the Prophet ﷺ. How did he born? How he was protected every single generation. The hadith which I like to share, another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna Allah astafa min wuldi Ibrahim Ismail." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed have chosen from the children of Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ismail. He was chosen by Allah. And then after he said, "Wastafa min wuldi Ismail bani Kinana." And from the children of Ismail, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen Banu Kinana, the tribe of Kinana. And then after, "Wastafa min bani Kinana ta Quraysh." And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen the Quraysh from Bani Kinana. And then after وَاصْطَفَى مِنْ قُرَيْشٍ بَنِي هَاشِمٍ. And then he have chosen Bani Hashim from the Quraysh. And then he said, وَاصْطَفَانِي مِنْ بَنِي هَاشِمٍ. Then he have chosen me from Banu Hashim. This is the way the Prophet ﷺ described his family tree. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start choosing from children of Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ismail, and then all the way until Banu Hashim. That's why the Prophet ﷺ was Hashmi. Although the Quraysh is the big tribe in Mecca, and the Quraysh has different small branches. Banu Adi, and Banu Taym. Like that's why if you look at the all four Khulafa, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, Umar bin Khattab, and Sayyidina Uthman and Ali, every single one was Qurayshi. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-a'immatu min Quraysh. The Imam and the leaders will be from the Quraysh. But he didn't, it means the Quraysh was the huge tribe and has different branches. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh and Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anh from the same branch of the Quraysh. That's why Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha, she came against Sayyidina Ali when Uthman bin Affan was assassinated. Why she came against Sayyidina Ali when Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anh became Khalifa? Because Sayyidina Uthman, Abu Bakr Siddiq and Aisha from the same tribe. That's why she came to defend her tribe. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh also was the Qurayshi, but his tribe was different than Abu Bakr Siddiq and Uthman radiallahu anh. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anh, he was from Banu Hashim. So basically all four Khulafa, that's why the Prophet maybe he said, Al-a'immatu min Qurayshin, all Khulafa Rashidin from the tribe will be from the tribe of the Quraysh. And that's why when Sayyidina Mahdi will come, he will be from the Quraysh too. Because the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, Huwa min itrati, he's from my family member. He's as one of my family members, from my tribe and from my family chain. So this is something the Prophet ﷺ. Last thing which I like to continue. Today inshallah then we will go to the next chapter of the Sirah. The Prophet ﷺ said, when I born, and he said, I came to the life of dunya, Allah he sent me because of two reasons. One, because of dua of my grandfather of Ibrahim. Ana da'watu Ibrahim. I am a dua of Ibrahim. I am the supplication of Ibrahim, the dua which I shared last week, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Baqarah. And then after he said, وَبُشْرَى عِيسَى قَوْمِي. And then I am the good news and the glad tidings of Isa, which he gave to his nation, which Allah mentioned in the Surah Al-Saf, which also I made it clear, because their book has so many changes. Old Scripture and the Old Testament and the New Testament, both Tawrat and Injil, it's been changed. Maybe at the time you will not find the name of the Prophet, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, مَكْتُوبًا عِنْدَهُمْ فِي التَّوْرَاتِ وَالْإِنْجِيلِ. His name was written in their books, Tawrat and Injil both. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Surah Al-Saf clearly, we believe in the statement of Allah more than anything else. وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمْ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ مُصَدِّقًا. And then after he said, وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِنْ بَعْدِ اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدٍ. The Prophet ﷺ said, I am the good news of Sayyidina Isa when he gave this news to his nation, Bani Israel. And then after he said, وَرُؤْيَا أُمِّي. I am a dream of my mother. The night which I born, my mother, she dreamed, التي رأت. And what did she dream? التي رأت أنه خرج منها نور أضاءت له قصور الشام. There is the light is coming out from her, the light, and how much is such a huge and strong light? The light is coming from her womb, and because of that light, the palace of the Sham and Syria has become lighter. This is the way she dreamed. And the Prophet ﷺ said, وَكَذَلِكَ تَرَى أُمَّهَاتُ النَّبِيِّينَ صَلَوَاتُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Not only my mother, every single mother of the Prophet, this is the way they dream the night when they are going to give the birth. The Prophet ﷺ, that's why when the Prophet ﷺ born, how Sayyidina Hassan bin Sabit radiallahu anh described in one of the beautiful poetry, he said, وَأَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي وَأَجْمَلَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ. There is no single eye of the human can see anyone more than handsome and beautiful than Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no single woman can give birth better than the way Sayyidina Amina, she gave birth to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَأَجْمَلَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّأً مِنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ. You have created free from all kind of the errors. كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ. You are created the way you want. So inshallah, and after I will continue maybe 2 more sessions. Then inshallah I will bring 2 beautiful hadiths which is narrated by Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Anas bin Malik. And there is another hadith is narrated by Khuza'a radiallahu anha. All 3 hadiths, if you listen, then you will understand how the Sahaba they describe the appearance of the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith. This is called Shama'il. His body, how his nose, how his tooth, how his face, how many hairs, how he used to look when he used to walk. Inshallah, I will bring this hadith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma bihamdi, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu.